between 1985. That's when this place came to notice. People were just getting sick, thinner and thinner and thinner.
We would say, he has eaten something, they have poisoned her or him. We never knew, not at all. When people coming from Kampala to this place, they say there is Slim. And we knew, we started knowing Slim.
What is Slim?
Slim means someone suffering from HIV.
Slim in English is AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
HIV/AIDS is a sexually transmitted disease which is caused by a virus.
When it enters your body, it kills the white blood cells, which protect the body against the diseases. When it enters your body, it feeds on them. You find when your body does not have immunity to protect itself against those diseases. Then when it enters your body, then other diseases come entering your body. You find that the diseases are killing the person, not AIDS killing the person, but those diseases. So they say AIDS kills, but it kills in another style, not like other diseases.
So we are standing in Enengo, the division between one district called Rukunjiri and Kanungu, where I come from, a village of lovely people, the place where I was born. Poor, economically poor, as many people would describe it, but lovely, a village with people who care for each other, who love life. People work so hard and depend on their crops to live, for food, for livelihood. Work so hard to send their children to school so they can come back one day and take care of them and keep the village growing.
In Uganda, 1983, when the first HIV outbreak was discovered, Nyaka is considered ground zero for HIV/AIDS because this was the first location that we had people suffering from HIV/AIDS. It came in as a disease which was totally scaring, and it had so many names. One of them, it was called Slim.
Here, HIV/AIDS disease is called Slim because it slimmed the person to the bones. This is a disease which kills slowly. The impact of HIV/AIDS was quite great. It brought poverty because they have to tend to the sick. They keep all their energies trying to take care of a person. So economically, people lost whatever they had.
There is no single family in Nyaka which was not affected by HIV/AIDS. People who were dying were the married people, so they left a widow who is also infected with HIV/AIDS. You leave the orphans, and generally here in the village of Nyaka, we are a population which has a high number of children per family. You lose one child as a parent, then you have 4 or 6 grandchildren who are orphaned. I remember I was in primary 7. This was 1989, when my father started showing signs of HIV/AIDS. He was the breadwinner, so now he is no longer working. He finally died in a period of 8 years. The wealth that we had as a family was depleted. I'm one of those who also benefited from the support of Frank. He supported many people around.
It's a long story why I started Nyaka AIDS Foundation and its inspiration. But the reason really why it all came into place is the death of my brother Frank and my sister Babas. He was a Christian man, he was giving, he was an honest man. People loved him, he gave back to the community. He educated so many children in the village, and the community at large depended on him so much that he became like a cornerstone for the community. So when I started attending Columbia University in 1994 through 96, while I was there, my brother Frank died of HIV/AIDS. I had to come back home and care for him in the last 2 weeks of his life. His death wish was for his children to be educated. Because every person who was dying at that time, you die, your children don't go to school anymore.
Who can tell us?
We decided, let's build a school, have children go there free. Let's turn that tragedy into hope so others can have a livelihood. That's why Nyaka was started. Free education in Uganda was also revolutionary. They don't do it. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. The community responded to the idea with mixed feelings. You had people who opposed the idea. My father was the first one. Didn't want it, didn't have anything to do with it, refused to give us land, had to buy land for it. Neighbors doubted that it's possible. Others believed in it and looked me in the eye and said, we'll work with you to make it happen. The idea was so revolutionary that we're combining all religious sects come together and work for the community. People gave stones, gave trees.
I believed in Jackson.
It's my dream, but it cannot happen without other people.
He had this strong conviction in himself. He always said, it will be done. We are going to do it, and we are going to build a school for orphans. So I believed him and said, okay.
It was very easy for us to come on board. Him as a person who had supported us, and then we had support him as a friend who is doing something very important for the community.
I was happy to see that Jackson trusted me and loved me to look after his children of Nyaka. It was a marvelous, a wonderful plan, but it was God's plan.
The purpose was to provide free education for children who are orphaned because of HIV and AIDS. Period. Pencils, pens, uniform, teachers, and be done. We did a needs assessment in the area, and the first shocker, we thought, maybe we'll find 100 orphans, bring all of them. We found out there were 5,000 orphans in this one district. First big challenge is how do you select 50 students out of 5,000? So since we are not going to build an orphanage, let's put together a committee of people in the village, talk to the elders in the village to form a management committee composed of all religious leaders in the area. The Muslim sheikh, Anglican pastor, the Seventh-day pastor, the Catholic priest, whichever religious sect in that area, their representative is part of the community. Then this committee will be the people who will be the stakeholders, who will be decision makers, who will inform us what needs to be done.
It is quite important in that, first of all, Nyaka calls in all the people. It does not segregate. So each denomination is represented. So it is quite important to have them on the board. We share the ideas as far as education is concerned, the policies, because we have different education policies as per denomination. So when we bring our ideas together, we get common goals.
That has made it a place that unites the entire village. We realized, working with the local people, education was not going to cut it by itself. When you do many things, they call it mission creep. One thing I really refused to adhere to is this definition of non-profit. We are going to be a service to our community no matter how people want to define us. This has caused a lot of strife with board members. We can't build a clinic, we are not a health organization. No, we are not, but if our children don't have a place to get treatment, the education is not going to happen. 60 million children around the world still don't attend primary school. The ones that start don't finish primary 7. Why? Because the walking is harder. Children were walking 7.5 miles to come to our little school. The sanitary products for girls are not there. Shelter for them is not there. Support system is not there. They have nowhere to do homework. There are too many challenges. So what Nyaka has done is to demolish obstacles one by one so they can succeed. What ended up coming out of the whole approach, the mission and vision of the organization, was to use a human rights-based holistic approach, in the sense that all 5 basic needs are provided to these children. Their education, food, shelter, health care, and then we are always working on the employment piece. Response here was, how do you do it? And this committee together decided the best way to have these children live and survive and comforted is to have them in a grandmother house. The grandmother in this case didn't mean biological. It meant a woman who would be a figure for that child.
Mukaakaa means grandmother. Mukaakaa means grandmother. The meaning of Mukaakaa is grandmother.
The grandmothers are the cornerstone who sustain the community. They are unsung heroes. People don't give them recognition, but they are such a powerful force in a society. So we approached women in the surrounding area, and they were all receptive.
Nyaka ekyokozere muri wa Mukaakaa muri akacuye kandi ikintu kihango munonga twa Mukaakaa twatwine obusega rwire gatutine nesete zo kubahera.
Economic obstacles were the biggest challenge for them. They could not envision beyond a child's well-being without providing those material things. I understood poverty at that level, and we said we are going to find a way. And that way came so quickly.
What's behind me? This is a latrine, and it's for our grandmother. It was given to her as a gift by Steve Royce Nyaka Foundation in 2007.
This is the house of this grandmother. Her name is Mantirida. She was the first to get a house from Nyaka.
The Cornerstone project started in 2007 with 53 grandmothers with children in Nyaka school. Most of these children were coming from places or homes where their housing structures were very poor. They were leaking. Their grandmothers had no pit latrines or kitchens. We got a grant from Stephen Lewis that helped us to put up pit latrines for these grandmothers. We have given them hose, taught them better methods of farming. Now these grandmothers harvest a lot of food. And we encourage them to get involved in small income generating activities like piggery, poultry, goat rearing, so that they can earn something. Within 6 months, we observed that there was a great change. The health and sanitation situation of the grandmothers' homes had greatly improved. Now the children were coming at school when they are happy. the economic and social status of these families had greatly increased.
Nyaka enkwerire bintu bingi. Mgena nyambere changu kanta alikuwa basa kandi na mzee italiho ndinyina no muntu wana okunyamba. No makagundemo bansijira mafu. Bisha batwalira mabanje.
Nyaka ikanyegeso kuruke bibo yanyegeso kuruke nkwanzi kandi yanyakirira umwana umwishomero nabire ntari kwenda kubasa arya fuzi ndahora nshemerigwe nanye naruke ikintu cyanje mbona kasete mbona icyo kuri so mwana wanje
sente finanse zimatwereze tuzikwika mu kibina tuziguzana tuzaba memba turukutama amago rero buri umwe agenda aza kushubuza kweye nyokanye ndi mushubuzi w'ibijwaro ninduke nkwanzi nabamemba mbona nibashubura baguzire ente abandi bagure mpunu abandi bagure mbuzi kandi wakatwagiguza twabona amagoba hamuheru kuturukuzimara ibiro by'emyezi byahika bitwazigurizemo bitweterana tuzikunga kunganye tuzigarurize kitongole bashobe batuguze zindi.
These grandmothers are sensitized and mobilized in groups, and each group has got a committee of 5 people. This committee is responsible for overseeing all the activities in the Granny project. As of now, the Granny group totals to 92 Granny groups with 7,004 grandmothers. The biggest number of the houses, pit-outs and kitchens we have given to these grandmothers has come from the Stephen Lewis Foundation. They are the grannies themselves who select that so and so should benefit first. They take part from the beginning up to the end when the house is handed over to the beneficiary. Every month, these grandmothers give us reports. It is leaking, it is on this side that is okay. It has no doors, no windows. We make sure that we go and visit each and every granny they have given us. We take photos, we get their backgrounds, we keep track of all the assets we give to these grannies. These committee members keep us informed of what is happening to that house. So monitoring is not only done by Nyaka staff, it is the responsibility of each granny group to protect these children because they know the house came from Nyaka and it was constructed for the granny and the grandchildren.
Bansimire kugira ngo baginyombekere ahubwo kureba aho ndi kutaha. Ibiretari nonje ahubwo kutura. Nshura ko ibireri kugwa. Nibakora birunje biri kwa bari kora hanju. Atari kuba alikora nawe ahubwo kurira ngo nibakoreranye naweye nawe nasime ntunguka eyinagiremo kandi yimwaturetire kugira ngo yetuyambe.
Now we have 7,000 grandmothers. They raise 43,000 orphaned children who live in homes where a grandmother is attached to Nyaka. About 500 of them have received a house that is 14 by 12 with an iron roof. About 5,000 of these women have received a fund to jumpstart a business. Many of them started with $20. They give back that money, we give it to another woman. They have an enterprise. Talk of social entrepreneurship, Nyaka has done it. They rely on each other regardless of their region. They are economically empowered, not only now, but forever. We've tried things that have failed. We continue trying.
Do you have a group? Not yet.
I could find any innovative way for them to read and learn. Nyaka, it takes us at least 12 years, 14 years of investment. We ask people to commit and take that child through the stages. They are going to revolt, they are going to get pregnant, they are going to steal, they are going to not listen and be expelled from school, we don't disown them. They are still our children, and them knowing Nyaka is going to be there for us is reassuring enough for them to stay focused. The first kids who walked in our schools and going to university in 2015 started in 2003.
My name is Olivia. I was 7 years old, and by that time, that is when AIDS had started killing people in Ghana. And they had killed my father. My mom would always say, will I even manage to put this girl in school? But it was in the coming year when Mr. Jackson Kaguri planned to put up Nyaka AIDS Primary School.
I remember that day in 2002 when Jackson told me, Hillary, next year you're going to school. They were building here a school called Nyaka. But I couldn't believe that was true because going to school for me seemed like it was very impossible in my life. My family could not even pay for a pencil, 50 shillings. I lost my parents because of HIV/AIDS. I lost all my uncles. They were 9. Now I don't have anyone. But when Nyaka started in 2003, he admitted me as the first student. I was given shoes that I never had before. I was given books. I was given a pencil. For the very first time, I felt excited. I didn't expect anything like going to school in my life.
I was welcomed, and then I found my Mukaakas, my great-grandmother, Mukaaka Freda, who welcomed us. I liked her very much because she used to care for us more than our mothers. She had a great love. She taught us our Lord's Prayer and some songs.
Hillary, when his father died, he was hopeless. The first thing which I did as the head teacher, I taught them the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven,
hallowed be your name, may your kingdom.
Teacher Freda used to call me like a son, used to treat me very well. He taught me how to write my name. He taught me how to speak very good English.
Hillary was the worst student finishing primary 7. I sat him down one time. I said, you're either going to be a porter carrying other people's bags, or you better pull up and concentrate in school.
Jackson emphasized to help Hillary not to go astray, to keep in school.
Maybe he had that village thing in him, but as the director talked to him, he cooled down. From there and then, he's the best student ever in Nyaka.
Hillary started renewing, and now Hillary is very humble, intelligent. He has a bright future.
Last week, a report in the New England Journal of Medicine said acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
When HIV/AIDS broke out in the world, people were stigmatizing people with the AIDS. AIDS was a scourge that had to be faced squarely, and one way was to talk about it. Across the border, it was almost illegal to talk about AIDS because they didn't want tourists to shun that country. But for us, we said, no, we must talk about it.
Stand together in the struggle, fighting illiteracy, diseases, and poverty, developing Mother Africa. Nyaka community, we are the, we stand together in the struggle, fighting illiteracy, diseases, and poverty.
AIDS Choir is a club at Nyaka that was founded purposely to sensitize the people around this community and Kanunga at large about the HIV/AIDS.
HIV has entered the body.
It is very important because this place was very bad off in terms of knowledge about HIV/AIDS. So it has helped much in sensitizing them how they can prevent it.
We go to visit other schools. We teach them how AIDS is spread, how to protect themselves from AIDS.
When we are teaching other people, as they have known what AIDS means and how it is dangerous to us, even I give them ways how to protect themselves, then I will feel like AIDS will reduce in the world.
So meaning if we rehearse the next time we shall get it perfect, isn't it?
My father died because of stigma. The day I wasn't home, I had gone to school, he hanged himself to death because of stigma. The community thought I was HIV positive. So whenever I would pass, they would be like, that girl is with Slim.
Each and every disease that comes is defeated by the white blood cells.
Because I was involved in the programs and had much knowledge about HIV/AIDS, I knew how to handle that stigma. And I came to a point of accepting it. I would tell them, I'm HIV positive, but I don't want to give it to others, so do like that. Yeah.
But you're not HIV positive.
I'm not, but I had to accept it in order to sensitize others about HIV.
So we begin the skit.
I load the skit in order to help the people know the difference between HIV and AIDS, because they use it to say maybe HIV is AIDS. So the skit was purposely to show how HIV comes into the body and what it does, then how AIDS comes in after HIV has lowered the immunity of the body and very many diseases come and attack the body. That's what we call AIDS.
Just because it lives and feeds only on the white blood cells.
And I think they now understand, and actually the community also understands the difference between HIV and AIDS.
We were organizing radio talk shows. We were telling people how to prevent themselves from getting infected by HIV. We were telling them if you are infected, you can get medicine. So the messages we were passing as Anti-AIDS Club. At the beginning, I was just serving the HIV-affected orphans. Little did I know that I will be HIV positive. Yeah, my acceptance was so quick because I was already exposed to information through Nyaka AIDS Foundation. Through the work I was doing, it saved my life because I realized that I can live longer than I expected. I understood how the people we are working with, what they were going through.
Singing HIV away. Our children believe they will sing and write the heck out of HIV/AIDS by telling their stories, using their testimonies. So they go on the radio every month to write poems and talk about this information. And their introduction, Nyaka School was started in this year and is a free school for children who are orphans. 15 miles away, a child was listening to radio with their grandpa and heard there's a school for orphans in a village called Nyaka Jezi. Next day, he didn't tell anybody. He sneaked out of his house and walked for 50 miles.
Atandika urugendo mpaka natekatekaga kwiga nantekatekaga nandahikayo nkaza kwiga aho ibiro bishatu nahika Nyaka
basheshe naza kureba ishumi rugenda kuza tukariko batera ibitabo babiteye akari n'ispensi bamwita furide.
It bothered me so much that we don't have facilities for children to go to school, as a child would risk their life and walk. All this time I was proud. I walked 7.5 miles. Here I was a kid who walked 50, seeking education. So I said, I am going to that village. I'm building a school for kids in that village. And our board would not hear it. Like, what? Build another school? Like, yeah. Why? Because there's a kid, there are so many kids around the world. Are you going to go in every world and build a school? No, but that one, yes.
Surprisingly, there were some people who were opposed to the project. So today, why don't we forget about these things? It seems people are out to frustrate it. But he's a man who will not take a no for an answer.
We raised $90,000 in 2 nights and built one of the best schools in the country. It's called Kutamba. It sits on the hill. It is beautiful. It is designed by an architect, Matthew Miller. He came from an organization called Architects for Humanity, who went and lived for 6 months in this area and designed Kutamba School, built it with the local people. That's how Kutamba was born.
Kutamba is a wonderful school. Kutamba means to heal, and that school is healing the lives of the kids who are going through the school.
I want to be a nurse, accountant, a teacher, an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, a journalist, a nurse.
It is important for girls to be educated in order to live a better life.
There are many obstacles for girls. When Nyaka started, we wanted that to change. We wanted to keep emphasis on girls' education, knowing they have more obstacles, knowing the orphaned boys will still get a family member who will invest in them, but not the girls. In an African context, when you are born a girl, there is something in there that tells them not to invest in you as much as they invest in boys. We consulted many professional women to start mentoring them, to change the mindset of a woman thinking, oh, I will get married and the man will provide for me. Now they started thinking differently. We recruited students, 65% girls. We knew girls would drop out of school as soon as they hit puberty. They have no sanitary products. Some of the cramps are so painful they can't walk 7 miles, so they miss classes. We made sure they have what they need to stay in school.
We ensure that the girls get sanitary products while they are in school, even while on holiday. And we are also providing underwear, because sanitary products without underwear, they cannot use it. This has helped us to ensure that the girls are coming to school and they retain their dignity.
Sanitary products like pads and knickers have helped me, like when some students, they can laugh at you, but since we can be putting them on, I cannot be ashamed.
Society in Uganda writes you off once you're pregnant.
We believe that even though a girl gets pregnant, she should stay in school. You stop them coming to school doesn't solve the problem. Their life still has to go on. Some of these girls are raped, and we are going to let them come back into the system. When children are in our primary schools, we bring them up a certain way. They have the Nyaka culture and behavior. But when they leave primary 7, they are very vulnerable. They begin to fall out. We felt there's a need to have the secondary school so that we can nurture them for 4 more years before we let them go.
This kind of change that they go through, they need to develop, to trust themselves, build confidence. We facilitate the development through guidance and counseling. We want them to be good people in the community, and other people admire them. People who will be able to help other people without expecting much from them. People should know these are people from Nyaka.
My favorite subject is physics, and I like it because I want to be an engineer, because I want to build the schools like this one to help those orphans whom I left in the village after my studies.
This is the place where children will get academic training in middle school form, but also learn a skill side by side. For 2 years, a child can walk out of that school with a skill in carpentry, culinary, tailoring, in computer technology, eventually be a first world place. Now my mode of communication with our pioneers is Facebook, messaging. We have had people ask, why would you introduce technology in a village like that and all its hazards? Our kids are going to get to university. We have to prepare them to have a level playing field. Technology is introduced, we encourage it. We want them to compete in the world and eventually have as many resources as possible in this village to create a first-class school. You cannot do this international work without consulting the people who live daily in those circumstances. Nyaka would never have done what we have done if we didn't listen to them.
Its evolvement to today, it has been a long journey from 56 pupils to now over 600 children it is supporting. It is a big achievement.
It's been a cornerstone from day one. All those kids did not ever think they were ever going to go to school, let alone go to university.
We are 14. What is special is all the pioneers. We've all managed to make it to the university. We are so grateful for that.
I was the only person remaining in the family. I had to get good results. I worked very hard. Now the school has finished 13 years. I'll be going to medical school and I'll be a doctor.
There are so many people who have gone to USA and they have not come back to Uganda to do anything to either their families or the community. But it so happened that Mr. Jackson Kaguri was blessed and he saw how orphans in Uganda were suffering. He felt merciful for us. So he had to come back and put up a school so that we can also have a good life in the future. It makes me feel very happy. I can't express my happiness.
Yeah. I'm not a rich man, but I give back because it comes from the heart. We want people to listen to this. We want them to be moved, not only to support Nyaka, we want them also to be moved, to be part of it.
My personal story, I've not yet told it to the world. It perfected my work. It encouraged me to work even more for Nyaka AIDS Foundation and its objectives to make sure that we can make the community understand they shouldn't lose hope.
I'm so proud of those students. They have come so far. They are humble, respectful, and they don't take things for granted. They know that everything that comes to them, they treasure it. Whenever I look at them, I look at the future leaders and I'm just honored to be part of the many hands that are pushing them and working with them into the future.
You've seen for yourselves that this project is transformative. It has many benefits to the society. It is transforming the lives of many young children, many of them who would even be dead by now. They're getting educated, but even their lives are being saved. So it's a fantastic project, and I personally will support it until the last breath of my life.
And you will know what's real or not. I hope you'll purify your passions and just be good to what you got. And if you go down to the river, don't just run there to get wet. Go and stretch your heart.